power of the spire.
What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR365. What is going on? Today is Saturday. It is March 30th, and right now it is about 12:23 p.m. We are starting a little bit later than planned. I did say that we were going to start at noon Pacific time, but I forgot about F Reality, and I know F Reality had a pretty big show this week because it was like a pre-recorded show. Everybody was there at PAX. I'm sure it was probably a pretty awesome show that they had. I don't think they were talking anything about Valve Index because they probably weren't aware of it when they recorded that show. And I don't actually watch F Reality live. Usually I'm getting ready for this podcast, which is part of the reason. But also, now that I am back in my regular cubicle job, I'm back to listening to podcasts. And I gotta tell you, man, because I've been back at work now for a couple of weeks now, and I gotta tell you, there's not enough VR podcasts. You know, there really isn't enough VR podcasts. I really wish there were some more VR podcasts because, like, I'm in my iPhone and I'm going to the podcast thing and I'm doing a search for VR. And it pops all these different podcasts on there. I need to get rid of this gum. Hold on a sec. Yeah, probably shouldn't be chewing gum right before a show. But it shows all these different VR podcasts, and I click on them, and I see when the previous episode was. And the previous episode was like 2017 or January of 2018 or something. And so a lot of VR podcasts have fallen by the wayside. So one of the questions I have for everybody in chat, and you could actually, if you could leave this comment after the show, it'd probably be better maybe. What VR podcasts can somebody listen to when they're at work? Now, I'm on VR Roundtable, so don't tell me VR Roundtable because I don't want to hear VR Roundtable again. Obviously, my show, VR365, is actually probably a decent show to listen to if you can open up YouTube. And I've been doing that. I've been listening to like MRTV and some of the other YouTubers. I've just been putting on their whatever they're doing and just kind of listening to that. But if there was a news show or more news topic and more radio oriented, that's kind of what I'm looking for more as far as VR podcasts. But there just aren't that many of them. So if anybody has any suggestions, I'd really love to hear about that. But like F Reality is kind of my number one. So I kind of save that for work. So I am interested to hear what they had to say about Rift S, Oculus Quest, their hands-on demos there. The whole IPD thing and all of that. So all of that is interesting. Okay, but let's go ahead and get into today's show. And before we get started, one thing I did want to do here real quick is I've got to get back to thanking our Patreon supporters. And this is something that I haven't done in quite some time. I've been a little bit lackadaisical about thanking our Patreon supporters, and it's really huge. Thank you to Lethal Weasel VR, a Patreon supporter. I'm slowly but surely working through everybody that signed up to the Patreon, and I will be thanking everybody. Also, anybody that has made a PayPal donation, I'm also going to be thanking you guys as well. Although I'm going to try to send you like an email or something to say, is it okay if I use your name? Do you want me to use a different name, kind of a thing? And one thing I've also said out there, for anybody that wants to donate to PayPal or Patreon, if you don't want me to use your name, please go ahead and email me at info@vrgamerankings.com. Email me there and let me know, Anthony, I don't want you to use my name, but you can use this or something like that, you know, so I can thank you on air and give you thanks for supporting VR365, VR Game Rankings, and basically everything that I'm doing here on the show and all the other stuff that I'm doing. And one of the things I did want to say really quick in regards to Patreon and PayPal and all of that stuff, this is not my normal thing. Like, I am not the used car salesman guy that is going to constantly come on here and say, hey, donate to my Patreon, everybody. Yeah, buddy, donate to my Patreon. I'm not the used car salesman guy normally, but you know what? I'm going to start turning into that guy. And I'm going to tell you why I'm turning into that guy. I'm going to turn into that guy because you know what? I've got like $400-500 that I've socked away that I was going to use for the Oculus Quest because I really do want to get an Oculus Quest. I think an Oculus Quest is going to be an awesome addition to our VR family. I think the Oculus Quest is incredibly important for the overall VR gaming industry, and I really want to get my hands on an Oculus Quest. And I'm probably going to get the 128 gig version, which is probably going to be $500 plus tax, so like damn near $550. And I do have money for that. Well, I'm saving up for that, but I don't have money for anything else. And this is a problem because I want Valve Index. And depending on the resolution of Valve Index, I might need a new video card. So I am going to start banging away on this Patreon thing and this PayPal thing because I really do need your guys' support. I absolutely do to be able to buy this equipment. I do because I'm not making a ton of money. I don't have a lot of money to blow on this stuff. I got a mortgage, I got a wife, I got kids, and my job that I have right now, I make like peanuts. And so I am going to have to start trying to stress this stuff. So I apologize. I'm going to apologize right now for hammering on these like things of like donating PayPal, Patreon. See, the thing is, I don't have Super Chat. I'm not monetized on eBay. I get no money for any of these eBay episodes. I get no money in Super Chat. The only money I can possibly get is PayPal and Patreon. So if you hate Patreon, you can donate via PayPal. $2. $2 to my Valve Index fund. Every little $2 donation is huge because it gets me that much closer to being able to buy a Valve Index the day that it's available. But I did want to say thank you so much to Lethal Weasel VR because that is incredible. The support is incredible. The people that have supported this show, much love, much respect. Straight up, it means a tremendous amount. And that really helps me out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into today's show. Now, the title of the show today is Portal VR in less than 60 days and more Valve Index thoughts. Now, look, I don't have an insight on Portal VR, but if I were to bet dollars to donuts, I would bet on Portal VR. Like, of those three games, I think the most obvious game is Portal VR, maybe Portal 3 VR, Portal VR, Portal semicolon something VR. I believe it's going to happen. I really believe it's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to be the first out the gate. I believe that one Valve. Well, let's go ahead and get into the burning questions, guys. Let's get into the burning questions. Let's see here. And so that's one of the things that we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the burning questions regarding Valve Index. I think it is one of the most interesting things to possibly consider. And so I've come up with a whole bunch of questions that I feel are absolute burning questions. And I think these are things that we can cover on today's Saturday show. Of course, if you tuned in last night, Mame Fan was on the program, and me and him, we were talking about everything that happened, and we were blown away, absolutely blown away by the news that came out yesterday. I was in a euphoria yesterday. I was flying high, baby. I had no drugs, and I was flying about as high as you get. I was on seventh heaven. This is a dream come true. This is truly a dream come true. Let's all pause for a second. Let's pause for a second and let's say thank you. Thank you, baby, because god damn, is there some exciting stuff going on in the VR world right now. The VR world is crazy. What the hell is going on here, guys? I mean, we've got the Oculus Quest imminent, okay? We've got the Rift S possibly coming out any day. We've got Valve Index. We've got the HP Reverb. We still got Vive Cosmos stuff that's going to come out. We've got games that are hitting. This is incredible. This is absolutely incredible. So it's just a wonderful time in VR gaming. What a blessed situation here. Just a little while ago, I was saying, oh man, I can't wait for some hype, some serious hype to enter our industry. And that Valve secret HMD, that was the hype. And it's here. It's here. I still can't believe it. You know, it's still kind of surreal to me. Okay, so let's go ahead and handle these burning questions. Okay, and I tried to think of what is the biggest burning question of all. And for me, it's actually, will this thing actually ship in the month of May? Now, you might say, well, wait, the burning question is, what's the resolution? Does it do this? Does it do that? No. My burning question is this thing actually shipping in May? Are you telling me that within the next 60 days, I'm going to have a Valve HMD inside my house? If you guys support my freaking Patreon, if you guys support my Patreon, am I going to have a Valve HMD in my house in the next 60 days? This is the number one question for me. It's bigger than all of the others. I mean, all of the others are very important. Don't get it wrong. They're all very important. But is it really going to come this fast? And so what is the answer to this? And obviously, this is Speculation Central. If you hate speculation, tune out right now. Okay. The one thing I will say, though, is speculation, it's kind of my specialty. It really is. I know a lot of other YouTubers, they might not really partake in speculation, but they're forced to do it because we don't have the info. But they might not be well positioned for speculation. Me, this is my bread and butter. I love speculation. I know some people hate it, but I love it. I love it to a point. I'm going to get sick of this as well. Just like you guys are going to get sick of all this speculation, I'm going to get sick of it as well. But the question is, will this puppy actually ship this May? And man, I don't know, because I think it's kind of a coin flip. Part of me feels like this May thing is really just going to be a major info dump. We're going to get a big info dump in May, and that the headset is actually coming later this year. Now, part of the reason that I say that is because I'm trying to prepare myself for just terrible disappointment of not having this headset as fast as I want it to come. And so that's part of my thought process. Now, another part of my thought process is Valve can't wait on this. They do got to drop this puppy in May. They've got pressure on them because the Rift S is going to come out any day now. Any day now, the Rift S is going to be out. In the middle of April, we have HP Reverb. There are so many people that have been waiting to buy a high-end next-generation headset that they want to pull the trigger. There are so many people that have been waiting to do this. They're itchy. I'm itchy. Gary's itchy. A lot of people want a brand new headset. And if Valve were to have an info dump in May and then there's no headset until like November or something, a lot of people just aren't going to wait that long. They're just not going to do it. They're going to grab a Rift S. They're going to grab a Reverb. Remember, the Vive Cosmos is still out there as well. And so I kind of hope they're going to ship this thing in May. I'm really hoping for that. But my true answer for question number one is I think it's a coin flip. I think it's a coin flip. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, the next biggest burning question, in my opinion, is what is the price? And of course, the price is going to relate to what this headset entails. What is the resolution? What is the FOV? Is there eye tracking? Is there foveated rendering? Is there some crazy unknown technology that we're not even aware of that could spike the price additionally? What is the price? Because here's the deal. One of the things about the price is if we were to find out that this thing is $12.99.99, and I know that sounds outrageous. I know it does, but you just don't know. We don't know what they're going to throw into this thing. But let's just say, for the sake of argument, we find out the price is $12.99. $1,300, but you get the headset, you get 2 lighthouses, you get 2 knuckles, and you get Portal VR, or whatever game they happen to throw in there, right? Okay, if it's $1,300, I might have to pass. Unless you guys make it rain on my Patreon, I am going to have to pass. The price is a critical issue. Now, for me personally, I'll just say for me personally, I think $799, $800, as long as it's there or below, I think I'm good. I think I will jump in most likely, obviously depending on all the specs, depending on everything that is being handled here. But what is the price? And I talked about this with MainFan last night. I believe the absolute lowest possible price where we could even possibly consider is $599. I'm talking about a bundle with lighthouses, with knuckles. The absolute lowest, in my opinion, is $599.99. $600. There's no chance in hell that you're going to get this for $400. No chance in hell you're going to get it for $500. That's not happening. I'm talking about a bundle. It's not going to happen. But $599, possible. $699, possible. $799, possible. So I think we're looking at that kind of range for the price. Okay, our third burning question here. Full bundle? Are we looking at a full bundle here? Are we going to get knuckles, lighthouses, the whole enchilada? Are we going to get the entire rigmarole here? Is it the full bundle? I think yes. I think it is the full bundle. Me and MainFan were talking about this last night. We were talking about Knuckles. Knuckles has been around forever and a day. Knuckles has been out there for a very, very long time. I think the one reason we haven't already had Knuckles is because of this. They're putting it together with this. They're going to initially, I think the only way that you're going to get your hands on Knuckles, the only way you're going to get your hands on this headset is the full enchilada. The full enchilada. I think maybe an a la carte headset or a la carte Knuckles, that's going to come later, because I think they're going to capitalize on the fact that some people just want to get those Knuckles right now. Maybe they don't even, maybe they could buy the Knuckles separately and they might not want to buy this entire thing. Or maybe they want the lighthouses, or maybe they just want the headset. But the tough titty situation, you got to buy the bundle. It makes sense. So I think we're going to start off with the full bundle. Okay, now, burning question number 4. Valve game on day 1. Are we seriously going to be playing a Valve, one of those major big-time Valve games on day 1? Oh my God, I'm still thinking about the fact that within less than 60 days, we might all be knee-deep in one of the most incredible VR games we've ever seen. Room scale, just all kinds of shit, all the lessons that they've learned over all these years with an unlimited amount of money, an unlimited amount of time, with the kind of prototyping and experimentation that has gone on at Valve over all of these years, even way before, more than 3 years. Valve has been working on this shit for 6 years. This was going on way before we got the original Rift and the original Vive. These things were in development for a long time. The game that they drop on day 1 could be just magical beyond belief. I mean, we could be looking at our first truly legitimate killer app. A lot of people will say, well, Beat Saber, that's the killer app. Fallout 4 is the killer app. Skyrim VR is the killer app. Lone Echo is the killer app. We could say that we already have a killer app. I don't know. I think if you have to ask yourself, do you have a killer app? You don't. I kind of think Beat Saber is our killer app right now, but a Valve game on that first day? Holy smokes. Now, are we going to get a Valve game day one? I say yes. I say absolutely yes. Knuckles is not going to release without their game. Knuckles is coming with their game. Period. End of story. So there will be a Valve game available on day one. The only question is, going back to question number one, is that day going to be in the month of May 2019? Or is that day going to be like November or some shit? That's the big question there. Okay, so those are our top 4 burning questions, but we are not done, folks. We've got additional burning questions to get into. Like, there's endless amounts of questions, honestly, but let's get into some of these, okay? So burning questions continue. Burning questions number 5, hybrid tracking. Hybrid tracking. Okay, now you might say, what the F are you talking about? What is hybrid tracking? Hybrid tracking means the best of both worlds. Support for lighthouses, but also inside-out tracking built in from the very beginning. One of the things that people are, and this kind of relates to number 7, the plastic shield on the front. So actually, I'll kind of wait for that to get more into that. But hybrid tracking, there is some questions about how many cameras are on this thing. Now, we know there's 2. We know there's 2 cameras, but could there be additional cameras? Could there be something inside the headset itself that is shooting something out that can track those controllers? It's crazy. We might have a crazy situation here with the hybrid tracking. What is my answer to this? Okay, so look, if you put a gun to my head and you say, Anthony, bottom line, is this thing going to support lighthouses? Is it going to support inside out? Is it going to support both? What's the deal? If somebody put a gun to my head right here and right now, I'm going to say there's no hybrid tracking. This is a lighthouse device, okay? That's where my money would be right now at this moment in time. This is meant for Lighthouses 2.0. There's no inside-out tracking whatsoever. That's my gut instinct right here, right now, but I could be completely off the mark. But that's a huge question. Hybrid tracking, is it there? Okay, burning question number 6, and this is a weird one. This is a truly weird one. I don't understand this. Okay, one of the things we talked about yesterday is when you're looking at the images of the Valve Index, first of all, we're seeing the bottom of the headset. We're seeing the bottom of it. And on the bottom of the headset, you've got like 7 sensors or something that are floating around on the bottom. What the F for? Like, do we need to track? Do you need, like, I don't have my Vive here anymore, but are there sensors on the bottom of the Vive? I don't think so. What are you tracking down here? Like, what are you tracking underneath here? You're tracking the headset. Why are you tracking underneath the headset? It doesn't make any sense to me, which makes me think that these sensors might be something completely different. This might be something that we have no idea. Now, what could you possibly be doing when you're going down like that? What are you tracking if you're tracking down here? So the possibility, going back to hybrid tracking, maybe those sensors, like, they don't look like cameras, so I don't know how they would do it for like inside out tracking with those sensors. They don't seem like those kind of sensors, but maybe that is a possibility. Another possibility is we've heard rumors. Now, of course, these rumors, people have said that these rumors are absolutely bogus. They hold no water whatsoever. I still feel like the timing of that rumor that came out at GDC, the timing of that compared with the timing of this, kind of weird to me. And I think it adds some credence to that video that was removed. And one of the things they were talking about was they were talking about cameras tracking your legs. Cameras tracking your legs. And could these sensors on the bottom, could they be tracking your body in some type of way? Is Valve going to bring our bodies into VR? You guys know how much I've talked about this over the years, and I don't know if it's the game changer that I think it might be, but I really feel like if we get our bodies into VR, it's going to be a game changer. Because I've always said, right now, when we are in VR, we are basically the invisible man. We're the invisible man. We've got a head and we've got hands. And that's pretty much all we got. And I think that you put somebody in VR, and if they can look down and they are there, they're in VR, I think it's a game changer. I don't know if these sensors on the bottom are doing that. I don't know what they're doing. It doesn't seem entirely logical, but that is a burning question to be sure. Okay, so let's go to number 7. Number 7, the plastic shield or the glass or whatever the F that thing is on the front of the headset. What is it? What is going on here? Okay, because we see a headset. Let me actually, I'm going to temporarily switch off of this. We'll get back to these burning questions here, but I temporarily want to go to the images that we have of this headset. And we go to some of these images, and actually the images that I have here don't do a very good job of showing. There's like this plastic covering, or this glass covering or some kind of shield that is going over the top of it. Okay, so here we go. Now you can see it here now. We can see it's almost like this is like some kind of car or something, and it's got this cool little design that's like the shield that's going over it, that's like protecting it in some way. What the hell is that? What is it for? Is it purely for style? Is this just a style choice? Is something going on there? Is there something that is under that covering? This is a burning question to be sure. What is that? I don't know what that is. And there may be something game-changing. Conrad Lawrence says it's solar powered. That's a good one. Yeah, I don't know what is going on with this plastic, this shield. Okay, now some people have said it's glass, and some people have said like it's like a glass covering. I don't think there's any chance that it's actually glass. Okay, I think it would have to be some kind of plastic. I don't think they would put actual glass on an HMD like that. That doesn't make logical sense to me from a lot of different standpoints. But who knows? Who knows what the hell that is? Maybe you flip it up and you just see somebody's face right there. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what this could be. Honestly, I mean, it's a burning question. And, they pay me big money to give you answers. They pay me like $0 to give you guys answers. And I don't have an answer for that one. The plastic shield, I just don't know. Like, put a gun to my head. Anthony, God damn it, what is the plastic shield? Tell me right now. I'm just going to say it's style, baby. It's style. That's my answer because I don't have a legitimate answer for the plastic shield. I just don't. I'm just going to say it's pure style, bro. It's all about that styly. It could, but actually, on a more serious note, it could relate in some way, shape, or form to what appears to be some type of expansion port that is built in there. Maybe that thing slides up. Maybe that's a protector for the expansion port. And maybe there are modules. There's actual modules for whatever purposes that pop in there, and then that shield is like a protector for it. I don't know. That's why these are burning questions. Okay, number 8. Are there more than 2 cameras? And this is a question, this kind of goes back to hybrid tracking, because I don't think we're going to do inside out with 2 single cameras that are down here like that, and that's all they got. I don't think they're going to do inside out with just 2 cameras, all right? Also, The crazy rumor of tracking our legs, like it's a crazy rumor. It truly is a crazy rumor. But if they're going to do that, there's got to be something that is seeing your legs. So could there be more than 2 cameras? I think there actually could be. In fact, let's go to our tweet window. Hold on here. Let's see. Oops. Okay, wrong one. Here we go. Okay, here's our tweet window. And apologies for that screw up there. Okay, here's our tweet window. This is Steve Bowler. We talked about this last night, but I wanted to talk about it one more time. Here's what he's saying right here. Okay, this is a dev at CloudGate Studio. Okay, the developers of Island 359. You want to kick those dynos, right? You need Vive trackers right now to kick those dynos. But maybe you're not going to need Vive trackers to kick those dynos. Maybe you're going to kick those dynos in a completely new way. Here's something that Steve Bowler says. He says, I feel like there's a hint in that Valve Index announcement that just went live. They're trying to show us, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Well, maybe those thumbs, me and MainFan, we talked about this last night. Maybe those thumbs are hiding 2 more cameras. Maybe this is the magic sauce. This is where it's filming your torso. It's filming your hips. It's filming your feet. You got to hope that you don't have a giant pot belly that's blocking everything, I guess, right? But could there be cameras under those thumbs? It's a possibility. It's a legitimate possibility. So it's exciting to think about possibilities of additional cameras. We don't know exactly what's going on here. Okay, so that is 8 burning questions. Do you think we're done? Hell no. Hell no. We are not done. We've got more burning questions, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get into our next batch of burning questions. Okay, here's our next batch. Now these move away a little bit from like technical aspects of the actual headset itself, and now we've got some different questions that we're looking at here. Here's a burning question for you guys. Is there a silent hardware partner? Okay, is this truly going to be shipped from Valve? Is it going to come in a box from Valve? Or is there a silent partner that is working with Valve to mass manufacture these things? This is something me and MainFan were talking about. Yes, look, I know that Valve has manufacturing capabilities. I know they have like a manufacturing plant that they have. I know they've kind of ramped up for this idea of being able to manufacture something. But the thing that we need to understand here is there's about 4 million PC VR headsets around the world. There's about 4 million, right? Okay, well, imagine if just 1% of that 4 million immediately wants to buy this thing right away. They've got to have the manufacturing capacity to make that happen. Do they have a silent hardware partner? Is there another shoe that's going to drop? Is Samsung helping them out? Is LG helping them out? Is some other company that we didn't even know they were involved in VR? Sharp, Toshiba, I don't know. Is there a silent hardware partner, or is Valve really going completely by themselves? My gut instinct on this one is Valve is going by themselves, which I think is crazy. I think it's kind of crazy. I really do. On one hand, I think it's ambitious as hell that they're going to just say, F it, we're going to do it our goddamn selves. We're not going to worry about anybody else. We did that with the Vive. We got burnt a bit. Their support was awful. It kind of screwed up some of the situation that we were doing there with Steam VR and with Steam in general and the whole ecosystem and everything. You know, the HTC Vive support, that was like a wet blanket that was laid over all of that. And maybe their decision now is like, F that noise. We're going by ourselves. We do not need a silent hardware partner. But I think it still is a very important question. Okay, number 10, pre-orders, or will this thing just, bam, it's available. Boom. Boom, it is available. One day we wake up, we go to Reddit, and all hell has broken loose. The freaking Valve Index available now. Buy this puppy immediately, or are there going to be pre-orders? And it's hard for me to answer this because what has been Valve's past history on this? What has been their history with the Valve controller? Were there pre-orders for the Valve controller, or did it just boom, all of a sudden come out? Were there pre-orders for any of the Valve Steam machines, or did they just come out? I don't know. I kind of feel like, I guess, again, if you had to put a gun to my head, I kind of feel like this is just going to come out. Just boom, it's going to come out. I don't think there are going to be pre-orders. That's my gut instinct. No pre-orders. It's just going to come out. Bam. I kind of feel like that's going to happen. But, that's pretty much a coin flip right there. Okay, number 11. I think this is probably one of the most significant questions we can think about. And this is a very important question. And this is critical right here. Is Valve going to handle support? See, and this relates back to number 9, a silent hardware partner. When you bring out a physical product, there are a lot of ramifications that come with that. You've got to have a support center to repair these things. You've also got to have support personnel to deal with issues that pop up. Valve has never been good at this. They've never been good at this. Like, there's not a 1-800 number you can call and talk to somebody at Valve. I don't believe that exists, right? But I think there is for Oculus. I think there is for HTC. You might be waiting like 3 hours on your phone to actually talk to a human being. And the human being you talk to might be like in India, and they might not really know what the hell they're talking about, and they might be hired by some outside agency, but there is a human being that you eventually get a hold of. If you have a problem with something on Steam, who do you get a hold of? I feel like Valve doesn't really have this. They don't have this. Now, the good news is they've got oodles and oodles. They've got wheelbarrows of cash to work with. There are companies that specialize in this type of thing, and they can provide, what do they call it? What do they call it? What, like the whole, keychain or whatever. Like, they provide the whole deal, right? They're like, yeah, Valve, we could do the whole thing. We could do the entire support thing for you. For Valve Index, we'll hire people, we'll train them on everything, we'll have technical manuals on everything, we will handle the support. So Valve could absolutely hire an external company to do this. If they have a silent hardware partner, then that's probably going to be built into that collaboration. And then that's something they don't have to worry. Like, for example, let's say, just for the sake of argument here, that LG is silently working with Valve. LG could potentially handle the support for that. And so it's a done deal. It's something that Valve doesn't even have to worry about. But support is a legitimate issue. Like, this is really, really a legitimate issue. I honestly think this is the number one issue why we cannot use Windows mixed reality headsets on an Xbox One X, because Microsoft doesn't want to deal with this. Microsoft does not want to deal with number 11. That is why they don't flip a switch and you can use a Lenovo Explorer on a Microsoft Xbox One X. It's because of this exact thing here. This is so underestimated by so many people. This is so mission critical. Will Valve handle support? So that is a huge question. My gut instinct is they're going to hire an outside company to do that. And I hope they don't pinch their pennies on that. I hope they hire an outside company that will step up to the plate, because this is absolutely mission critical. Number 11. Okay, number 12. Are we going to have an a la carte HMD on day one? Now, what does a la carte mean? A la carte is like you go to a Mexican restaurant, right? You can get 2 beef tacos. It comes with rice. It comes with beans. There's a little bit of salad and stuff that they put on the plate as well. But another option is, I just want a beef taco. That's it. A la carte. A beef taco a la carte. And so they bring a plate that just has a beef taco, and that's all it got. And so our question is, will we be able to get the Valve Index a la carte? And if the Valve Index works with Lighthouse's, it could have backwards compatibility with Lighthouse's 1.0 and, compatibility with Lighthouse's 2.0. And it could also pair perfectly fine with standard Vive wands. I mean, I don't think that's out of the question. So could we have an a la carte HMD on day one? My answer to this question is no. There will be no a la carte HMD. Not on day one, because I think the smart play is you force people to buy the bundle whether they want the goddamn bundle or not. You force them to buy the bundle. You can always, a couple of months later, have the HMD a la carte available on the side. That's my take on the a la carte HMD. Okay, so a lot of burning questions, like crazy burning questions that we have here. Tons of burning questions. Okay, and so lots of interesting things to think about, lots of interesting things to ponder in relationship to all of this. Now, guess what, guys? I've got another very interesting question to ponder. Let's talk about Rift S and the Valve Index. Yeah, Rift S and the Valve Index. Now, most of us believe that the Valve Index has come along and the Rift S is yesterday's news. Get that shit out of here. We do not care about the Rift S any longer. It is yesterday's trash. Sweep it away, get it out of here. But wait a minute. What if? Could it be possible that the Rift S actually has some advantages, legitimate advantages, over the Valve Index? And I think there actually could be some legitimate advantages to the Rift S over the Valve Index. Let's talk about this. This is something that I don't know how many people are exploring, but let's think about it. Okay, so I'm popping this on the screen here. Rift S advantages over Index. Yes, I do believe there could be a handful of Rift S advantages over Index. And let's take these babies one by one. Number one, the biggest advantage. At first I had the price point here, but I changed it. No, the biggest single advantage of the Rift S, no revive. No frickin' revive, okay? There's no revive, man. That's the beautiful thing about still having an Oculus Rift old school version, an OG Rift, or a Rift S. You don't have to worry about revive. I dealt with revive for months. And I'm not trying to say that revive is bad. Revive is awesome. Revive is absolutely awesome. Much love to Cross VR and everybody that has been involved with Revive. I mean, Revive is incredible. Think of what Revive has done for a lot of people out there until we have that true open XR and all the bullshit where everybody's headsets just play together nicely. Until that utopia actually exists, we got Revive. And Revive does a masterful job. But you know what? I can still remember playing the Mage's Tale through Revive way before the Mage's Tale ever came to Steam. It was an Oculus Rift exclusive, and I'm playing the Mage's Tale on my HTC Vive through Revive, and it was god-awful. It was a messed up experience, guys. It was not a good experience. Then later, I got an Oculus Rift. When they had the Summer of Rift, it dropped down to $399. I was like, what the? $399? Are you freaking kidding me? I got an Oculus Rift. I played Mage's Tale with the touch controllers, and I was like, oh my God, hallelujah. Hallelujah. I can actually do the things that I want to do in this game without freaking fumbling and bumbling through Revive. Not needing Revive is actually a pretty big freaking deal. Stormlands, Asgard's Wrath, the Respawn game, everything else that Oculus is going to continue to bang away at, that's an advantage, not having to deal with Revive. So Revive is a big deal, in my opinion, here. Okay, number two, the price point. The price point is huge. I actually had this at number one, but I switched because I think Revive because price is huge for a minute, but then once you got it, it doesn't mean anything anymore. And I think Revive is a bigger deal. But the price point, $399.99. If anybody thinks that the Valve Index is going to be anywhere near this, you are smoking some really high quality shit, because there's no way it's not going to be anywhere near $400 for this Valve Index, in my personal opinion. Now, I would love, oh my goodness, would I love to be proven wrong here, but I think the absolute bare minimum, you're looking at a $200 upcharge at the bare minimum. And I think you're probably looking at double. I think you're looking at what we call a double up. 2 Rift S's for the price of a Valve Index. The $400 price point, that is an advantage. It truly is an advantage over the Valve Index. Okay, number 3. Now, I know people are going to complain about this. Anthony, you don't know, Anthony. Okay, I'm going on the assumption that the Valve Index, it does not have hybrid capabilities. Okay, this is not a Honda hybrid. Okay, the Valve Index uses Lighthouses 2.0. That's my assumption. And so when I made this, I'm assuming certain things. So I do not believe there is inside-out tracking on the Valve Index. That's my personal belief right now at this point in time. But I could be completely off the mark. I know that. I could be completely off the mark. But let's just assume that's the case. If that's the case, a major Rift S advantage, no external sensors. I got to admit it, I'm not looking forward to freaking getting up on a ladder and getting some screws and some drills way back. I still have my mount for my Lighthouse. One of my Lighthouse sensors, the mount is still there. And I still have a mount right there. If these mounts work, then I don't got to drill any holes. That would be a beautiful thing. If these old mounts will work with the new Lighthouses 2.0, I don't have to drill any holes. That's a beautiful thing. But other people might have to drill some goddamn holes. Nobody wants to get out a drill. Nobody does. Very few people want to freaking drill anything. Yeah, I know you can use some 3M strips and all this other stuff, but you want that lighthouse to be rock solid. You don't want it wiggling or shaking. You want that thing absolutely rock solid. And the Rift S has no external sensors. That is a bit of an advantage. Okay, number 4. More ergonomic controllers. Now, I've never actually used Knuckles controllers myself personally, but you know who has? Sebastian from MRTV. And I just yesterday, in fact, I was at work and I was trying to listen to stuff while I'm at work. And I went to YouTube and I hit up MRTV and I was like, oh, he's got a little special where he's talking all about the Valve Knuckles. I'll listen to that. I listened to MRTV talk about the Valve Knuckles, and he said that he loves them, but he said the one issue that he had, not very ergonomic. That was his one issue with the Valve controllers, not very ergonomic. Now, I tried the Rift S controllers. I held them in these hands, and they feel good. They're ergonomic. They're maybe a teeny bit smaller, I think, possibly, than the Oculus Touch. Maybe just tiny bit smaller. Maybe like 5% smaller, 10% smaller. So they're a little bit smaller, but they're very ergonomic. They feel very good in your hands. And so, maybe a slight issue here. Again, of course, the Knuckles controllers that everybody has out there. John TDC says he was drunk. Are you talking about MRTV during that episode? He was drunk. The Valve Knuckles controllers are not final. They're not final that we know of. So maybe the final versions are more ergonomic. Maybe they've solved this. Maybe they fixed it. Maybe they are ergonomic now. So this may be a non-issue, but right now it could be a possible advantage for Rift S. Okay. Grasping at straws a little bit. Okay, wait a minute. We've got another page. There's more advantages, folks. There are more advantages. Okay, let's continue to go down these Rift S advantages. Okay, number 5. Number 5 on the Rift S advantage meter. Min spec friendly, baby. Min spec and rec spec friendly. Yeah, I like the whole min rec spec. Min rec spec. That's our boy Nate Mitchell when he was interviewed by Tested, by Norman Chan, talked about min rec spec friendly, baby. And it is. It's min spec friendly. They dropped that shit down to 80 hertz. You want to talk about min spec friendly, that's about as friendly as you get. You're dropping 10 frames per second to make it as friendly as you possibly can. Then also the resolution. Very little bump in resolution at all. Same render resolution right now as we know. So no stress on your graphics card. No additional stress on your graphics card. Now, I don't know what the resolution is of the Valve Index. You know, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to assume, all right? I'm paid to assume, right? And my assumption, I'm paid about a penny a day to assume this, but my assumption is that Valve is going to bump it up to HTC Vive Pro or Samsung Odyssey levels, 1400 by 1600 per eye. I think that is the bare minimum. This podcast has been brought to you by Oculus. Well, you know what? If Oculus wants to buy me a Valve Index, yeah, maybe this podcast has been brought to you by Oculus. But I pretty much believe that Valve is at the bare minimum. I think they're going to go 1400 by 1600 per eye. It's going to bump up to the Samsung Odyssey levels. It's going to bump up to the HTC Vive Pro levels. Well, that's not exactly min spec friendly. Let's be honest about this. I also believe 90 hertz or even higher is a guarantee. So it might not be very min spec friendly. We know that the Rift S is aggressively min spec friendly, maybe even too much min spec friendly. But in a certain way, if you're on the lower end of the PC scale, somewhat of an advantage. Okay, number 6, greater portability. So again, this goes back to my theory that the Valve Index, there's no hybrid tracking. That is a dream. It's a fanboy dream, and it is Lighthouse 2.0. That's my prediction right now. It is Lighthouse 2.0, and there is no hybrid capabilities here, which means that the Rift S is a much more portable device because your Valve Index is going to be in your man cave. You're going to have a Lighthouse mounted there. You're going to have a Lighthouse mounted there. And unless you want to put your lighthouses on some tripods and you want to move those to another room, you're pretty much in a singular room, which is fine for a ton of people. For a ton of people, it's not a big deal. This is my man cave. This is where I play VR. I don't really need the portability. But Rift S might have that portability advantage of being able to, you can get a banging ass gaming laptop. You've got kind of a portable system with the Rift S. Slight advantage there. Okay, number 7. This is a big one because this relates to number 11 in that other category. Support is a known quantity. Okay, I'm not saying that the Oculus support is 5-star red carpet white glove treatment. I'm not saying that, but it is a known quantity. We do know that it's not completely awful. We know that much. It might not be the best in the industry, but we know it is not absolute garbage. We know that it isn't hot trash, okay? And so that's kind of a bonus. It's the devil you don't know and the devil you do know. And at least we know this devil. At least we know him and we're familiar with him. And he might not be the best in the world, but it's like a bird in a hand is worth 2 in a bush. Okay, Valve may have even better support than Oculus, but we don't know that. We have a bird in our hand right now. There's 2 birds over there. Should I throw this bird away because I think I can grab those 2 birds? I don't know. So that is support is a known quality. Okay, and then number 8, this is the dumbest one of all, but I guarantee you there's some people in this chat that will actually freaking buy a Rift S because they don't want to wait. You guys are crazy. I want to take your head and I want to slam it against the wall a couple of times to wake you up. But there are people that are so goddamn impatient. Oh, it's amazing to me. It is absolutely amazing to me how impatient people are. And you know, here's a prediction I have, Nostradamus Jr. for you. I believe Rift S is going to arrive any minute now. Any minute Rift S is going to hit. I think like if we get to next Thursday of next week and the Rift S isn't available, I will be legitimately surprised. I think the Rift S is coming next week. All right, maybe Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, maybe Monday. Bam, Rift S is there. Rift S is there, right? Okay, I got somebody that doesn't agree with me on number 4. We can get back to that. But I think the Rift S is like imminent as can be. And there's going to be people that are like, man, this Valve Index, it's so interesting, but I can buy the Rift S right now. I can drive to Best Buy and I can pick up a Rift S today. I can feel the beautiful soft foam, that beautiful foam on my forehead and the back of my head and my face. It's like a pillow. Calgon, take me away. I'm going to be in a Rift S all day. It's going to be so nice. I don't want to wait till May. It might be an info dump in May. I mean, this is, number 8 is don't have to wait till May. That's if we actually got a headset in May. That's if we actually get the Valve Index in May. But what if we get an info dump in May and we're waiting till November? There's a ton of people that ain't going to want to do that. So the Rift S does have an advantage from the standpoint that it is imminent as can be. It should be out any time now. Okay, so anyways, these are the advantages I have. My mouth is dry as a mofo. But Skid Row says, I don't agree at all with you on number 4. Let me go back to number 4. I don't remember what number 4 is. So let me go back to number 4 and see what Skid Row is talking about. Okay, he's talking about more ergonomic controllers. Okay, so here's my question, Skid Row. Have you held the new controller? Because if you haven't, you can't even comment on that. Well, see, first of all, I mean, yeah, it's hard for me to comment because I've never had a Valve Knuckles in my hand. I'm going to trust Sebastian. I'm going to put my faith in Sebastian. Do I think Sebastian wanted to come up with a negative for the Knuckles? Like did he need to have a negative so he had to freaking go down the not very ergonomic road? I don't think so. I think if it was perfectly ergonomic, I don't think Sebastian would say that it's not quite ergonomic. Now, Sebastian did say that his hands are kind of big, so maybe if you got smaller hands, it's more ergonomic. I don't know. Look, I know I'm grasping at straws here. But I'll tell you this. I've come up with some advantages that are actually somewhat legit. This is called the Oculus Spin Hour, guys. This is the Oculus Spin Hour. Look, don't get it twisted. I truly believe that the Valve Index has come along and it has just swept the Rift S out of the building. But I still wanted to bring this up. I still wanted to consider this. I still wanted to ponder this. So that's why I wanted to do this, is like, well, let's examine this. Revive is a straight up legitimate advantage. It really is. The price, I think, is a legitimate advantage. It really is. Now, some of these other ones, it's like, yeah, we don't know yet. This is Speculation Central. It is absolutely Speculation Central. No question about it. The support is a known quantity. I mean, well, the Oculus support is a known quantity. But Min spec friendly, probably that's going to hold. That will probably hold. Don't have to wait till May. That's pretty much, well, I mean, we don't know absolutely that we're going to get the Rift S any day now. I kind of think it will be. So anyway, those are some of the thoughts that I have. But now what I could do is I can go ahead and we can throw like some trailer on the screen here, and I can go ahead and take a look at some of the comments in chat. Let's see what some people are talking about over here in chat. Okay, going back. Okay, Mr. Dimitriov says, if you have money, you can buy every headset. You sure can. I agree. I agree with you, Mr. Dimitriov. I don't have money. Patreon? PayPal? Go ahead, throw some money my way. Does anybody want to sponsor VR365 by donating a beautiful Valve Index headset? You could help sponsor this show in such a great way. Oh my God, it would be amazing to me. Sure, money, yeah, if you have all the money, you buy all the headsets. It's a great thing. That's a beautiful thing. We all love that. Okay, let's see. Nephoria says the new touch controllers are still very nice, but a step back from the existing design. Well, the one thing I will say, like, they don't quite melt in your hands in the same exact way that Oculus Touches melt in your hands. The Oculus Touch controller is technically more ergonomic than the new Touch controller. Not by a gigantic margin, but it is. It absolutely is. Let's see. Okay, John TDC says Valve released an update to Steam VR that would do something I don't remember and make an 80 frame per second game look like 90 frame per second. Okay, well, Valve can do a lot of things. Some of the things that we haven't talked about actually in relation to this whole Valve thing. And I should have did some research on this. Unfortunately, I didn't do any research on this. We could go to the Webby browser. I could try doing a Google search. So let's go to the Webby browser real quick here, because one of the things I was thinking about, let's see, what is our Oculus daily deal of the day since we're in here? Okay, the daily deal is 3D Organon VR and Anatomy. Okay. Interesting. Never saw this thing, but it's 50% off. But yeah, that is our daily deal of the day for Oculus. But you know what I wanted to do? Let me do a Google search and let me go Valve, if I can spell it, Valve lenses patent. I remember back in the day, Valve patents speculation about the Index HMD. Oh, 13 hours ago. Okay, somebody else thinking along the same lines. Because don't you guys remember that Valve came up with some kind of special patent technology? I mean, not patent technology, but some kind of special lenses technology thing that they were talking about a long time ago. And I forgot all about it. But you got to imagine, now that the Valve headset is here, whatever crazy shit they were working on, it is probably included in this. Okay, display with stacked emission and control logic layers. Corresponding, retinal near-eye display, improved fill factor, improvements in pixel density, lower cost, increased bandwidth and communication of video signals, photorealistic immersive visual experience. Mitigation of screen door effect in head-mounted displays. I need more time. I would need more time to look at this, but I do remember that Valve was doing some interesting stuff related to lenses and related to lens technology, and that I think absolutely that's got to be baked into this headset. Oh, the other thing we can talk about is Valve Index, the logo. There's the freaking logo. Let's just look up the logo. Valve Index. I'm sure there's people are, this logo right here, what does that mean? What does this mean, guys? What does this logo mean? It has to mean something, and I think it might be related to the lenses in some way. There could be some very interesting technology that are in these lenses, a game changer possibly from lens technology standpoint. This is one of the other little things that, not too many people are really talking about this, and these lenses could be an exciting thing. But I unfortunately, I don't have any other information on that. Okay, let's go back to chat, though. Let's go back to chat, and I'll go back to the standard scene here. Okay, 360-degree FOV. That's meme clan. Yeah, no, don't think it's going to happen. I think 220 is the FOV. No, 220 is like the maximum, right? There's no need to go beyond 220. Okay, Muppet on Med says, is this the new time for the show? No, time for shows. Okay, so here's the thing. Normally, we would start this show at noon on Saturday because F Reality would normally be over by noon. But there's like an hour change between like England and USA. And I think that hour change is going to be fixed. So I think everything will be back on target after this time change, because basically I deliberately delayed the show by an hour so that people that want to tune into F Reality, they can see that entire show and then they can bounce over here afterwards. So I was kind of doing that. So, but show times for this show are going to be a little bit in flux. I will try to do a better job of trying to keep people aware of what kind of show times we're looking at, but show times will be in flux a little bit. Chris Richardson says Valve is the Thanos of the VR universe. Thanos. Nephoria says, I just sold my Oculus before the Rift S was shown. Got 95% of my money back. But, okay, so here's the question for Nephoria. You got that money, bro. It's burning a hole in your pocket. You don't have a PC VR headset. Or maybe you have like a Lenovo or something. Maybe you have another VR headset that you can work with right now. But are you going to be able to wait till May? Or are you going to grab a Rift S? Like some people, they already sold their Rift. They have no PC VR headset. They're itching. Are you going to wait till May? Okay, I'm trying to see. Hussein X says, impatient people are the vocal minority. Probably, yes, they probably are. VR Spry Guy says, I'm crazy, but there is no way I'm buying anything until all of this shakes out. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. The only thing that I would buy is the Oculus Quest. I would buy the Oculus Quest without waiting for this because this isn't going to have this ain't going to be a standalone headset. I don't think so. Yeah, I know it does have the little thing on the front. Maybe you pop a Snapdragon cartridge up in there and all of a sudden it turns into a wireless headset, a standalone. It's possible. But that's too much. Valve would be doing way too much to try to make everybody's dream headset all in one. I don't think that's going to happen. So I would buy, I'll take the chance. I would buy an Oculus Quest before I found out what the real deal is with this. So I will buy an Oculus Quest the day that shit drops. Let's see. F. Frank says, all this headset talk is making me antsy for a new headset. Haven't been like this since I was waiting for the Nintendo 64. Wow, that's a long time. That's going way the hell back. Yeah. And T72 says, I don't think this applies to people who already own an HMD. Is he talking about the waiting, like maybe the waiting factor? Like that doesn't really apply. If you've already got an HMD, you could kind of hold out a little longer. That's possible. It's certainly possible. Oh, Techno Glitch. Hey, what about Cosmos, guys? Where's your breakdown of where's the Cosmos advantages and disadvantages? What about HP Reverb? You know, I thought about HP Reverb for a second there, and I was thinking, could the HP Reverb have any advantage over the Valve Index other than just straight up 2160 by 2160? Because maybe Valve does not go down that road. The 2160 by 2160 is an interesting road to travel down because if you go down that road, you're forcing people to buy a new GPU. You're forcing a huge part of the population to buy a brand new graphics card. And that is harsh. But at the same time, remember that Valve is going to release this headset and it's done, man. It's stuck. Whatever way it is, it's going to be that way for 2019, for 2020, for 2021, and probably into 2022. They're going to be stuck with whatever this is. And maybe they're thinking ahead and they're thinking, yeah, if we go 2160 by 2160 per eye, it's going to piss some people off. A lot of people are going to have to upgrade a GPU, but 18 months from now, it's going to look like the right move. And we're going to be stuck. We're stuck with this headset for 3.5 years. We're stuck with it. Maybe they will preemptively go with that really high resolution. But honestly, that's like the only advantage I can think of for the Reverb. like, what other advantage does it have? It's got the old crappy controllers, the original Windows mixed reality controllers. That's a definite disadvantage. It has generation 1 of the Windows mixed reality tracking. Definite disadvantage. It doesn't have a legit IPD adjustment. Okay, depending on whether or not Valve goes with pin tile, RGB stripe, OLED, LCD, it might have an advantage for clarity of text with an RGB stripe. Like there's a possibility that this headset is not RGB stripe. Maybe they go OLED without the RGB stripe. They could go OLED with RGB stripe, but it goes back to the Jason Rubin Chronicles. Trade-offs. There's so many trade-offs. Valve has to deal with all the same trade-offs that we have to deal with, or anybody has to deal with. They've got to pick and choose. They've got to pick and choose the trade-offs. Trade-offs are real. Trade-offs are absolutely real. Okay, let's see. Looking at some other folks in chat. Paradise Decay says, "Oh my God, I just realized Valve made a massive boob. They should have based their VR headset on a head crab." Okay. Let's see. Nephoria says, "But the Odyssey Plus is probably going to get returned since Valve is coming, since it's within 30 days at Amazon." Oh, he bought an Odyssey Plus. Okay. Yeah, there's probably going to be quite a few headsets that are going to get returned within the near term here. Tim Lott says, 18 months from now, you will see a Rift 2.0. That might be sped up. This might cause that to be sped up. Oculus could think about, like, with the arrival of the Valve Index at is it OC6 that is coming up? Oculus could decide, you know what, we need to bring back that high end. We need to bring back a high end. So we'll have our low end Rift S. It could be our low end model that we float with that model for a while. We float with that thing for a while. But now we need a high end because Valve's got the high end. Valve is killing us, absolutely murdering us on the high end. So yeah, we could get a legit kind of a Rift 2 a lot earlier than maybe we thought after this. Like, this is a disruption. This is a major disruption. It's almost like the entire VR gaming industry apple cart just got flipped the F over, man. It just got flipped the F over because everybody knew that this Valve thing was out there, but everybody also knew about Valve time. And so, it could have been 2021 before we saw this shit, but it hit. It's 2019 and this is happening. And this just flipped the apple cart, man. It has completely flipped the apple cart. All right, guys. Well, you know what? I've talked for quite a lengthy period of time. And it is time for me to get a drink of water. It's also time for me to get some lunch. So I need to bounce the heck out of Dodge. But the one thing I will say on my way out is do me a huge favor. Go ahead and tickle that like button. Smash it, tickle it, caress it. Take it out to dinner, baby. Marry that like button, okay? Click on the little bell, that bell thing. You can click on that as well. If you aren't subscribed to VR365, go see a doctor. Go see a doctor. If you're not subscribed to VR365, go see your local physician, okay? And then the last thing I'll say is, somebody help me. I need a couple of pennies. Hook me up, my homies. Patreon, PayPal. Seriously, I got to go into car salesman mode because you know what? I do have enough. I've got like $500 to throw at something. And I'm thinking the Quest is going to get that $500. But how the hell am I going to buy a Valve Index? How am I going to buy other shit? How am I going to buy a new GPU for the new Valve Index that's going to have crazy high resolution? I need your guys' help. I really do. Like, seriously, I haven't been asking people for money. Now I'm asking people for money. I can't buy all this shit. So if you want my inside thoughts, like if you want my hands-on impressions of this stuff, because it's going to suck. It's going to suck if I get like the Oculus Quest and I can give my hands-on impressions of that, but I freaking can't afford the Valve Index and I can't talk about it. that's going to kind of suck. So if anybody can chip in $1, 50 cents, anything like that, it all helps. It all adds up. And I'm telling you straight up, like my Patreon money, PayPal donation money, it's all going to hardware. It is 100% hardware, man. And, all kinds of hardware. And so absolutely, if you've got like an extra $5 kicking around, help a brother out, because I'm absolutely want to check all this shit out. I want to have firsthand knowledge of all this stuff if and when possible. I'm kicking out my own money for the Oculus Quest. I've already got $500 penciled in, but if anybody got some extra little money that they can throw my way, oh my God, it would be so appreciated. Couldn't even tell you. So absolutely, Patreon. If you hate Patreon, I do have PayPal, and it helps out a ton. But that's going to go ahead and do it for today's episode. Now, tomorrow, once again, show notes, VR Roundtable, baby. In fact, actually, let's go to our Webby browser. I want to see, do we have a new VR Roundtable? Let's go to VR Roundtable real quick and see if we've got a new, thumbnail image for tomorrow's episode. VR Roundtable. VR Roundtable. Oh, Roundtable Pizza. We're right after Roundtable Pizza. That's pretty awesome. Okay, so VR Roundtable. Looking at the YouTube channel here. And no, I guess we don't have a thumbnail yet. Somebody needs to work on a thumbnail. Get crack-a-lackin'. Who's doing this? Gary, Steve, somebody get crack-a-lackin' on it. But anyway, tomorrow, VR Roundtable will have an episode around 9 a.m. Pacific time. Another banger, guys. Another banger. We're looking at probably another 2-hour marathon, because not only are we going to be talking about all the Valve Index stuff, but Chris was at PAX. Chris was at PAX East. Chris got hands-on time with a lot of stuff. He tried a lot of stuff. So he's going to give his impressions of everything that happened at PAX East. We're going to be talking... We're going to have Gary's views, Chris's views, and Steve's views on this entire Valve Index thing. And I can also tell you guys this. Somebody sold their Oculus Rift. It's gone. One of those people sold their Oculus Rift with a plan of buying a Rift S. The question is, are they still going to buy a Rift S? Or has this changed the entire game? We're going to be talking about that on VR Roundtable. That is tomorrow at about 9 a.m. Pacific time. Probably a 2-hour banger. And then my Sunday Fun Day episode is going to be about 20 minutes after, about 15 minutes after the conclusion of VR Roundtable. So, let's see, probably like 11:30. I'd have to guess about 11:30 a.m. Pacific time for our episode on Sunday. So VR365, man, that is what it's all about. VR gaming news and discussion 365 days a year. Okay, but yeah, that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode. I got to get the hell out of Dodge. I got to get some water, and I've got to get some lunch. So everybody have a wonderful Saturday, and, have a lot of fun. What else can you do? Play some VR games, guys, and save your pennies. But throw maybe 5 of them my way. That would be beautiful. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Take it easy, and later.